For more on this, let's bring in Ben Aris, who's in the German capital, Berlin. He's an editor-in-chief at BNE IntelliN. Ben, thanks for being with us. So Trump's been airing his frustration quite publicly with Putin. It doesn't seem to be fazing the Kremlin, but this new warning of a new statement on Russia by Trump, maybe it's sanctions, will this be causing any anxiety in Moscow, do you think?
No, they're taking it in their stride. And as you say, it's Trump, he's frustrated. If you remember, Trump's position is quite easy to understand. I mean, he campaigned in the elections and saying that he was famously saying that he was going to bring the war to 4 hours. That didn't happen. That transmuted into like 100 days, and that didn't happen. Although he made a lot of progress and got the peace talks started in February. But in their last call, the sixth one, Trump said like he made no progress. And the next day, Putin launched a massive missile campaign against Ukraine, which is going on at the moment, record amounts of drones and missiles hitting every day. And Trump has been made to look silly in so much as he trades on his image as a deal maker. He promised to end the war, and actually the ceasefire talks now are dead in the water. Putin's position is a little more difficult to understand. They're not phased. And if you dig into it, they're actually keeping the door open, because I think the key to understanding Putin's position is that Trump represents, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get these 30,000 sanctions, extreme regime on Russia lifted. And Trump is a man who does deals, and he doesn't really care about ideology. He doesn't actually care about Ukraine. That he'd be willing to do a deal, and Putin is focused on that. And what's gone wrong was when the talks opened in February, Putin was looking for a deal, and he put forward a lot of sanction relief, particularly making sure that Ukraine promised to never join NATO. And that call, the last one, the no progress call, was that none of these things had happened. And Trump was pushing for those concessions from Ukraine to the point where he was accused of bullying Ukraine in order to get these things for Putin. And Zelensky refused. So what's happened now is that I think the talks are suspended for the moment, that Putin's gone back to plan A, which is an intense military campaign, a summer offensive that will go on all summer until the autumn to try and get Ukraine to capitulate, or at the very least soften it to the point when in the autumn there'll be another attempt at ceasefire. And you were reporting on the Lavrov-Rubio conversation. There, particularly, Lavrov introduced the idea of some new concept, the details of which we don't know, that's been taken back to Trump, which I think is going to be the framework for some sort of compromise in the autumn. And you also reported, and Trump said that on Monday he's going to make some big announcement, and we've got this Graham bill of sanctions, 500% tariffs on anybody that does business with Russia. That's in the wings and may come out. He might bring that out. But today, Trump has actually, the Trump administration, no new sanctions on Russia whatsoever since he took office. And there's been no allocations of new weapons, despite what he said. And so Trump has left the door open to negotiations, because, again, to understand Trump, in addition to wanting to do the deal, he's also said explicitly from the beginning that he's very interested in doing business with Russia. Investing into oil, gas, the minerals, everything. And I think that's what he's actually focused on. So for Trump, Russia, there is middle ground to do some sort of compromise over Ukraine and do some business. We've got whatever it is now, the rest of the summer, with the military campaign to see where Zelensky stands in September.
That's all we have time for, unfortunately. Ben Aris, BNE IntelliN. Thank you so much for joining us.